you a Merry Brickmas. We wish you a Merry Brickmas.
And now we arrive at the area where the Aarhus National Exhibition was held back in 1909. It ran from late May to early October, just a few months in total. The massive exhibition covered what was then an open space between the harbour, the city centre and Dalgas Avenue. In total, nearly 39 hectares of land. These fairs were held all over the world, and even though Aarhus isn't the capital of Denmark, it still hosted one of the largest exhibitions ever held in the country. And of course, two of the most prominent contributions to the National Exhibition were beer-related. On the left, we see Tuborg's triumphal arch, and here is Carlsberg's column. The exhibition attracted over 650,000 visitors, at a time when the city itself had fewer than 60,000 residents. The electricity tower wasn't just decoration. It powered the lights and served as a beacon for the White City of 1909. Positioned by the main entrance, it towered over the industrial halls, showcasing the cutting-edge tech of its time. The top was punctuated by decorative metalwork. As you can see, many of these buildings were made of wood, but not everything was temporary. Some of the structures still exist to this day. Even if it was all just decorative frosting, built with cheap materials like wood and plaster, it's still an incredibly impressive presentation, pulled off in a remarkably short time. As part of the exhibition, 3 prize villas were built and given away as awards in a competition at the National Exhibition. And here I made a quick stop at the street where the 3 villas are located. I only filmed a few short clips. I didn't really want to stand there pointing my camera into people's gardens. While no exact dates survive, the villas would have gone up during the 6 to 18 months before the opening. Varnapalæet was also built in connection with the exhibition, and it was completed in just a year or less. Interestingly, the local newspaper, Aarhus Stiftstidende, ran a headline at the time saying, "Cemetery or mental asylum." Kind of funny that people thought it looked like a psychiatric hospital. In 1970, the building was taken over by the Odd Fellows, who have used the first floor for lodge meetings ever since, while the restaurant space has been leased out. A temporary railway station was also built to help guests arrive directly at the site. It no longer exists today, but it was located right here. And next to that we find Skansen. And this is where a large hotel was built for the exhibition, with 210 rooms to accommodate the many visitors. And you can actually see the top of the hotel in this photo, taken at the exhibition. Today the hotel has been turned into apartments, but most of the original building is still standing. It was built in red brick, with roughly cut granite at the base. The architecture is quite elaborate, featuring a 7-story corner tower that looks almost like a castle, with shifting roof heights, gables, balconies, and bay windows. According to the records, Skansepalæet was completed in 1908, ahead of the 1909 exhibition. However, no sources specify exactly how long it took to build, only that it was finished during that same year. So the whole thing was completed within a period of 6 to 12 months. This entire area, with its exhibition buildings and temporary layout, was constructed in a remarkably short time and then torn down again just 5 months later. And even though Aarhus ran a huge deficit on the National Exhibition, it's still often described as the moment the city pulled itself up by the bootstraps, transforming from a provincial town into a real city. The National Exhibition in Aarhus was modest and far less grand when compared to many of the great world's fairs in Paris, London, and the United States. And if you would like to hear more about my thoughts on these fairs, including their darker sides, such as human zoos, which were also present at the Aarhus exhibition, you can watch the video Echoes of a Stolen History.